How are you settling in, Eric? Things going well?
Good. Yeah, they're fine.
Just good?
No, not really. Something's going on at the hold, and it's making the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. The Eye publicly scorched you for opening up Asylum, and yet I've heard him telling the Spindle that this could be a good thing. Meanwhile, the runners are stretched paper thin keeping supplies moving. Which, of course, leaves my people no time to deal with actual threats.
Sounds like you could use some help. What's the problem?
Really? Dancing winds, where to start? No, wait, I know. The Spitfires. A particularly aggressive group seems set on spreading through Denevron. In particular, they're building nests in some areas I was hoping to use as training grounds, but we had to pull out due to the risk.
Would the areas be safe if I took care of the nests?
Yes, though the nests are very durable. They will turn brittle if you get them cold enough.
Consider it done. Anything else?
Maybe an odd request. Could you ask Oria if I could power the scry while you're tackling them?
Why not ask her yourself?
I feel like I have a lot to learn from Oria and how she works with you. And it's strangely intimidating to admit that to her directly.
She is a force of nature. I get it. I'll ask. Hi, Oria. I am here on behalf of Arakim.
That's weirdly formal. Everything all right?
He finds you intimidating. Personally, I don't see it, but I thought I'd be extra polite for his sake.
He does. Good. What does he want?
He's wondering if he could power the scry while I run an errand for him. He's hoping you'll give him tips.
Happily. But feel free to tell him I was a bit scary, to keep him on his toes.
Good news. Ori is absolutely willing to give you pointers on the scry. She joked I should play up her scary side, but honestly, she's an incredible mentor. You'll be fine.
I've coordinated lots of operations from Cassidon's hold, but I never had much formal training. More self-taught. A chance to learn from someone with decades of experience is an incredible opportunity. I'll be there with you then, when you get close to the nests. They're in the Bastion's yard and Envoy's Landing in Upper Denevron.
just the embassies. Envoys landed.
Yes. It wasn't by chance that visiting dignitaries had to walk across the verdant gardens to meet their Enclave counterparts at the Spire. Upper Denevron was designed to impress.
Getting close now. Watch for the flames. They're extra dangerous when the air's this hot. You'll need to freeze the hives. They're spongy and resistant to damage unless you can make them brittle.
That's what I need. Work with the scribe.
Perfect. That should be the last of them. Appreciate the chance to test run your scry.
Things still good with our Spitfire problem?
All handled. You did great out there. But it was quite the experience. Your scry is not at all what I'm used to. It's better, more vibrant. Anyway, sincerely, thank you for your help. If I need more, I'll know to just ask this time. Hey, Brynn. Sorry, was lost in thought. It's this scry thing. It's been bothering me.
You said it felt different from the ones you're used to.
Yours was much more intense than any we have, and I need to know why. Have we overused them? I don't think so. Yours is at least as old and clearly has seen good service.
That does seem strange.
Yeah, I went digging through everything I could find about the scries. I'm sure the Eye has records he won't share with me, or anyone, really. But I still found a lead.
A sudden burst of bureaucratic insight.
Yes, I suppose. Shipping records for scries. There were some set to go out right around the surge.
Exports? To bands like ours?
Probably. Well, that's the problem, though. There's a lot of very specific shorthand on these manifests I just don't understand.
We should talk to Casmin. She lives and breathes shipping logistics.
I was hoping you'd suggest that. I was considering asking her myself, but...
She's a little intimidating.
No, that's Aurea. Casmin just seems busy. Always busy. And I don't want to overstep here with your crew.
We can talk to her together. Hey, Kaz. Arakim has a question.
Is that why you've been lurking around here? Bad habit, you.
Yes. I need some help puzzling out shipping manifests from before the surge.
Scries, secured export, dates. You think some scries never made it past the Veil?
Doesn't it usually take some time to figure that kind of thing out?
Yes, but I'm a genius. This is what I do, Brynn. So, we should run these down. The records here aren't complete, though. They don't confirm the shipment.
Any idea how we do that?
This is where Brynn does what she does. Off the top of my head, there's 3 places we should look. Drover's Gate in the lower city is obvious. Logs will be there. Also, I imagine the Bastion would track export of any and all scries, military applications. And we should canvass the Hearthsiders. Maybe someone still alive who worked the caravans. I'd ask the Axel. She'd know who to ask. And we're not welcome in the general populace of Cassidans.
We have that in common. Impressive.
Happy to help.
have a strange request.
That's very nice for you, I'm sure. But I have somewhat pressing concerns of my own. If I didn't have a supply shortage, I might be more inclined to hear you out.
I am simply telling you, as the foremost leader of the Enclave, that I don't want you getting distracted.
Can you clarify what you mean by that?
You know exactly what I mean. Eyes down, know your place. Focus on your own problems. Organize your little craftspeople. Keep the wheels of civilized society greased. And don't dare to presume you know better than me.
If you have a problem with my performance, you are welcome to gather feedback from the people who elected me. They may have a clearer understanding of what I bring to the table.
We'll continue this conversation later.
Khan Atme. Allow me to formally introduce you to Brynn, the Weaver Band's point.
You're the Axel, right? Arakim says you're a good person to know.
I am. My given name is Haroon, as Arakim said, but you may refer to me as Khan Atme. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, despite the circumstances. And I wish they were better circumstances. The new Surgeborn threat requires us to realign our priorities. Some are a little slower on that than others.
If there's anything we can do to move things along, I'm at your disposal.
What about the supply shortage? I've seen her in combat. She's better than any of us.
What's her help look like? I'd prefer if she could avoid unleashing another apocalypse on us.
Unleashing the Surgeborn wasn't our best moment.
Beyond asking the Enchanting Guild to develop time travel magic so you can go back and not do that. There's a silver lining to this Surgeborn situation that we're suddenly in a position to take advantage of.
Count me in.
Right. With the Surgeborn unleashed, we're anticipating casualties and damage to our facilities. However, there's a restricted area in the underworks that we lost access to decades ago when the Eye sealed it. The Institute. An arcane laboratory where the Enclave conducted its enchantment research, among other projects. Inside the Institute lies a significant supply cache. Its contents will be enough to keep us going, for the time being. If the notes the previous Axel left me are accurate, though, there's an additional complication.
Of course.
The Surgeborn secure territory by building structures, akin to insect hives. The Institute is likely overrun with them, and has been for 20-odd years.
So, the Surgeborn are a long-standing threat to the Enclave.
I wish I were old enough to remember what it was like to live without the fear of the Surgeborn. As a child, I sat awake every night worrying about them. They were terrifying. Knowing what I know now, I should have been even more scared.
I'm sorry you went through that. It must have been horrible.
Thank you.
All the more reason to actually do something about the problem, instead of spending our lives cowering behind the walls of our glorious fortress.
You'll hear no disagreement from me, now that the game board has been upended.
Sounds like I need to clear any Surgeborn hives from the Institute, then.
That'll thin them out enough that my scouts will be able to access the supply cache without much trouble.
Now that Asylum is lifted, we should be able to access the loom gates in the Institute again. I'm going to trust you with this key swatch. It's been gathering dust for over 25 years.
Only the Eye would let such a crucial resource sit there for that long.
Yes. If we're clear on everything, I'll get back to work. My list of obligations grows by the minute. Someone has to keep this goddamn fortress running.
Welcome to the Institute. Every one of those constructs you've been beating on was conceived in these halls.
Imagine standing among those weavers in the Enclave's prime, fearlessly pushing the boundaries of enchanting.
Well, they broke everything too. Literally everything. So, they weren't that fantastic.
This passage must be the Enchanter's Way.
That's a sight pulling you. Brace for it. The Ramenos Canal. Named, of course, for Arden's right-hand woman, Diane Ramenos.
Ark of the Wintertide. They use sheets of ice as armor. Just be aware they will reform it.
This area is referred to only as the depths. Looks like it's marred by the surge.
Marked only as expand.
First hive's up ahead.
Do we have any useful notes on the hives from the previous Axel?
Don't bother trying to deal with them. Too scary.
I'm beginning to get an inkling of why they replaced him. I would love to send you out among the surgical wounds.
What do you think, Eric?
I'd go in a heartbeat, but I've got dozens of scouts to coordinate. Wouldn't wish that job on anyone else.
Some breathing room.
Absolutely. Can't automate it, but thrilled. I'll meet you at Cassidon's Hold so we can deliver the good news.
western side of the museum. Easy to get lost in the Institute's intricate rooms.
Strand. Happy to weave that into your mantle.
Making yourself...
Yes. I don't want...
And the...
I convinced him I would be keeping an eye on you. I asked the kind...
Lucky for you. Welcome to the camp.
You still call us that?
Yeah.
Let's.
If you're interrupting my petition reading time, I hope you're bringing me some good news.
Nothing but. The way's clear for the scouts to start retrieving those supplies.
Anything to add, Arakim?
I'm shaken to my core by the revelation that one can achieve things without forms signed in triplicate.
Interesting. I won't argue with success. Especially when it keeps our people going. Brynn, since you've proven yourself useful, I've considered the ways in which you can assist us further. We'll need Isla's help for this next step, though.
Sorry. Who?
The Spindle. My counterpart in the Enchanting Guild.
Oh. Of course. Anyway, not a problem. I was planning on speaking to her soon.
I wonder how she's reacting to all of this. We haven't had a moment to speak in private since Asylum was undone.
Should I mention that you wanted to speak with her?
No, that's quite all right. She's very busy with her duties, as am I. We're both devoted to our positions. Anyway, please don't hesitate to put yourself at her disposal. She deserves the support.
Will do.
I recall there was something you wanted, yes? I suppose there's time to tackle it now.
I was hoping you could help me with an investigation. I'm looking for some missing scries.
Have you lost yours somehow?
No, but I have a lead on a shipment that went missing right around the surge. I was hoping you could ask around the Hearthsider homesteads to see if anyone was working the caravans when the veil went up.
Ah, and this is related to Arakim making a mess of our records, I assume.
Yes?
Very well. I will ask around as a favor to you, Brynn.